Fascinated by John James Audubon's style and life, here Ford is relating Audubon's history as if he truly shot a flamingo, when in reality, Audubon had trouble collecting a flamingo specimen. Usually missing, you can actually see him in the bottom left corner in his boat taking aim. The inevitability of the bear's fate within the tree in the background. Adult bears will die in the tree, leaving the cubs to die themselves. The cubs are being held up by weak branches. Inspired by a tale from Audubon's journal of a slave that saved his master from a bear, this signifies the relationship between humans, learning, and nature. This is the same idea of rewriting Audubon. This suggests nature is not as picturesque and perfect as Audubon illustrated it. It uses a more grotesque approach through the slimy yolk and the naked lumpy baby bird about to fall from the tree. He has a more rough texture than Audubon. Here we see an Indian kingfisher holding an American fishing lure in its mouth, suggesting that importation of a contraption can and could replace the traditional way of fishing. Change in culture. A city is seen in the bottom left corner. This is Bangalore, a rapidly industrializing city in India, further explaining the point of a culture change because of industrialization. Watercolor etching of two different species of ibises locked together in a sexual but violent way, like they want to break away but can't from the pleasure. Text in the back tells the story of a kingdom overcome by plague, and to enter the kingdom one would be compromised. People want to come home, pleasure, but don't know if they can enter the city because of plague, combat. Ornithomancy is the telling of the future using birds. In number 3, the wood duck is killing a duck of his same species, breaking an alliance. This alludes to the future of the large amount of wood ducks being killed later on. Death overall will destroy us. Dead piles of ducks falling from the sky in the background, unable to be together. Here we see a turkey slowly choking a Carolina parakeet in front of a burning and hellish landscape. The turkey represents Benjamin Franklin. Franklin had a list of virtues, ironic considering he was actually a very unvirtuous man. He wanted the turkey to be the national bird because it was so virtuous. His reasoning is listed in the top corner, ironic. Part of a series of works that capture the conflating violence with male physical pleasure, it also relates to a memory from Audubon's childhood when he witnessed one of his mother's monkeys kill a parrot. Audubon writes, "The sensations of my infant heart at this cruel sight were agony to me. The gaze of the monkey creates a childlike sense of fear that we are smaller and afraid." Part of the same series relating to Audubon's story, there was never a specific species named for either the bird or the monkey, so Ford painted a different species in each piece. The piece corresponds with the same line as Sensations of an Infant Art, except in this picture the monkey is more nonchalant. He stares at the viewer with an evil but careless glare than an evil and violent glare. This image is a bit more immersive, as we have a feel for the space of the room. Foreshortening is used as the monkey hops through the window. The monkey also seems to be aroused from the chase, recalling the theme of male desire. The piece corresponds to the line of the story. He probably thought the bird presuming upon his rights in the scale of nature, in other words, survival of the fittest. In this piece, we see the monkey right after it has seized the bird. The monkey seems as though it simply sauntered up to the bird and grabbed it with the familiar feeling of nonchalance. Audubon writes, "He certainly showed his supremacy and strength over the denizen of the air. For walking deliberately and uprightly to the bird, the supremacy of the monkey is shown through carelessness." This is a very strange and uneasy painting, the first in the series to obviously express the sick sexual desire the monkey has. The scarring image shows an unfinished breakfast in the corner relating to the title of the etching, which means bread and milk for the parrot. Shadowing the bread and milk breakfast, Audubon was bringing the bird the morning he witnessed the event. The most provocative piece of the series, we are exposed to the monkey at the height of pleasure after it has just ripped the head from the dead bird. Audubon writes, "He at once killed it with unnatural composure." Ford displayed in the series how he believed male pleasure leads to pain. Audubon was born an illegitimate child when his birth father had an affair with his birth mother, a Haitian servant girl. He was taken to France after she died. That pain was caused by male pleasure. The final image in the series, the monkey clutches dead bloody feathers and stares at the viewer with disappointment. Nothing came from his violent outrage. Audubon writes, "I uttered long and piercing cries. My mother rushed into the room. I was tranquilized. The monkey was forever afterward changed. Short pleasure amounted to nothing but pain and suffering for both parties, the ultimate fault of dark male desire." Life-size watercolor of a Barbary lion attacking a Nile crocodile in a French garden. The animals are painted in a sense of unity. For example, the lion's claws are placed to reflect the croc's teeth. In the lower left corner, a pink flower being foxglove, native to Europe, and a white flower, freesia, native of Africa. This signifies the clash between Europe and Africa. This could signify Napoleon's campaign through Africa. This image shows a peacock with a flaming tail chasing a levant viper while starlings weave in and out of the tail. The levant viper is found in North Africa and the Middle East. The peacock is South Asia, and the European starling is a signifier of the Americanized world. Starlings have an invasive nature, signifying the exploration and conquest of the New World and the colonization of continents by America and Europe. A life-size watercolor painting, the image is a representation of the husbandry of nature in France. Everything in France culturally is organized and trained to perfection and refinement, while nature in America celebrates a form of savagery. The buffalo, savagery, is resisting the wolf's attack, refinement. Ford comments on this painting saying, "America's walled garden is Yellowstone Park. France itself is a walled garden." Watercolor etching depicts a large flock of extinct passenger pigeons gorging in a field of fruits and berries violently. The pigeons represent the explorers and colonies of the New World and their extortion and destruction of nature, including the passenger pigeon. Image serves as a cruel irony since the animals in the picture were destroyed by the very thing they are representing. Expressing human behavior onto animals, Ford grew up watching a sparrowhawk, a kestrel, catch the small bird every afternoon for its meal while living in Canada. He wondered what it would be like if the hawk had the same materialistic greed that humans are often attached to. In this etching, the kestrel sits atop a pile of small dead sparrows while glaring at the viewer, simultaneously waiting for the sparrow flying in the background to come closer. My very favorite, a small flock of Bohemian waxwings gorging on blackberries in the middle of a violent battle. Nicknamed Pestvogel, or plague bird, as they came in continental-sized migrations through Europe and Asia, the bird is said to have been a bad omen. A massive invasion of waxwings was recorded in 1914 and was said to be the sign of the frightening First World War. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and please go check out Walton Ford and all of his artwork. It's amazing.